Hello and good morning to you, lovely bunch. How are you doing today? I'm Natalie. This is Totally Beads, and today we're going to be doing some magnetic twist bracelets. The beads are gorgeous, lovely colours, gorgeous shape, and they are magnetic too. So they clip together really pretty, which also means you can stack them up and you can layer them into a much larger cuff. So I'm going to take you over to the website and I'll show you what's on offer for you today. Drop me a comment. How are you doing? What have you been up to? And if you're in the UK, have you got anything planned for the bank holiday weekend ahead? I'll take you over now to the website so you can see what we're doing. Good morning, Rachel. How are you doing? She says it's a sunny Barrow. It's a nice bright day. It seems brighter than it did yesterday morning. There was a little bit of rain while I was travelling on the train, and I feel like I've not seen the rain for ages. Good morning to Edward. Good morning to Shirley. How are you doing? If my voice is a little bit hoarse today or it disappears completely, I'm making no apologies. I had a lovely evening yesterday. It was my mummy's birthday. So we went to see the goddess, the Australian pop princess that is Kylie Minogue, and it was amazing. Really, really, what a show, what a performance. So my throat is a little hoarse because I was singing at the top of my lungs. It was such a good night. So happy birthday to my mummy for yesterday. Good morning to Elaine. Good morning to Camille. She says it's damp in Lynham. Well, it did rain yesterday in places, but us up north have been having the best early summer. I'm hoping it's not to suggest that summer's going to be all gone and done by the time we get into it, but it's been a very dry spring. Good morning to Joanne. She's in a wet Coventry, so the weather is a change. Good morning to Tonya. How are you doing, my lovely? Good morning to Judith, who says bright here in West Lothian. Right, so over to the website we go. We are totallybeads.co.uk. The best in the business, if you ask me. This is our video tutorial section. There's loads of things that you can make. You can buy your kits, you can choose what you want to play about with, and you can make along with me right here. So today, magnetic twist bracelets. I didn't name them anything. I just wanted them to be as they were so you could see from the description how they work. So we have aqua, beige, olive and pink for you today. 4 gorgeous colours, mixing them in with some very pretty little crystals, little magnetic clasp as well. All of your findings, all of your beads, which makes quite a long bracelet. I'll probably do a smaller one today so it fits me. This should probably work out if you're using all of, the components in your kit. It makes one bracelet. I think I'm going to be using about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, so doubled up. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. This should come to about, I would say, 8.5-inch bracelet. We'll measure them down on the mat. You can have a little look. Each colour is £6.99. So this is what you're getting. We have a gorgeous magnetic hematite bead, so they're plated in a lovely, lovely colour. We've got crystal rondelle beads for you. We've got a sliding magnetic clasp, your jump rings, your crimp beads, your culottes, and your tiger tail as well to string them on. And you can see there that we're just doing a double row and they clip together beautifully. If you don't want a double row, you can change your clasp and you could get 2 single row bracelets and you could layer them up by wearing them together if you wanted to. These are your components. So I've changed the metal on each of these colours. In this gorgeous aqua blue one, I'm using 3x4 crystal rondelles, cerulean blue. I'm also using the aqua magnetic hematite twist tubes, and then we've also got the sliding magnetic clasp as well, which is silver plated in this colourway. All your findings will be silver plated for this colour. Now, a lot of people wear magnetic bracelets and particularly hematite because it is meant to suggested it helps with things like rheumatism and things like that. I'm not putting it together for any health properties or any metaphysical properties today, just using it because those magnetic tubes are gorgeous. They're just I'll show you them again on the map, but you can see how they're shaped to give that beautiful little kind of cut to them, that lovely little twist. Hematite is, I think, an absolute wonderful property. It can be magnetised, and here it is. We used a lot of hematite before. We spoke about, you know, how it used to be ground up for wall paint and all sorts of things in years gone by. These are plated in a beautiful colour. So this is your aqua on the silver. You also have to choose this gorgeous beige. Now, it says beige, but to me it's like an ivory white colour. Again, I'll show you them down on the mat and let you have a little look. This is on the gold findings in terms of your magnetic clasp, your jump rings and your, excuse me, your magnetic clasp, your crimp beads and your culottes. The jump rings I'm using, I think they're a 5x1, so slightly smaller than usual. That's your outer diameter. You're going to get that lovely little magnetic clasp. Again, I'll show you how those work. They just slide into each other, so nice and easy to put in and attach. And then you've got your gorgeous beige magnetic hematite twists, and I've gone for, it says champagne here. They look darker when they're separated out amongst these beige. They do look a little bit lighter when separated out from each other with these in the middle. So that one is your beige, very, very pretty. We have the gorgeous olive, which is what I'm going to demo with today. Again, looking a little bit darker. It is an olive colour, so it's got a gorgeous touch of kind of bronzed olivey green on there. And I'm going to be using the black plated findings with this and the olive garden crystals, which are absolutely gorgeous, very twinkly, very, very sparkly. And you can see how these lock together. So I'm only doing a 2-row with this. So if you wanted to add any extra beads and bits into your kit, you absolutely can do. And you can use, we do different magnetic sliding clasps on Totally Beads. We've got 3 hole ones. We might even have 4 hole ones. So you could literally just create those additional rows if you wanted to. You could also stitch with these, I guess, as well if you wanted to. But I'm just using the Tigertail today because they'll all clip together lovely with that magnetic field that those beads have. And then lastly, we've got this gorgeous pink, really, really pretty colour. This I've popped with the rose gold findings. I'm using the magnetic hematite twist tube beads in pink, which is 6x8mm, and of course we're still using those 3x4 crystal rondelles. These are in the colour pink, so all of your findings with this one will be in rose gold and they will run along the back. So they're all your kits today, £6.99 for everything you need to make along with me today and make one bracelet that looks like this in this design. Again, you can always change up your designs, and if you want to add anything else into your basket, you can do so easily on the website. Let me just switch back. Got a little bit of a delay going on. My phone's probably tired as well from all the pictures yesterday that I was taking, and my phone is my camera. I don't want to share that. I want to cancel that. Can I cancel that? Yeah, there you go. Hello, everybody. There you all are. So, who haven't I said good morning to? Jan saying she loves these bracelets. Thank you very, very much. Good morning to Linda. How are you doing? She says, breezy Norfolk. And she's at her son's. I hope you have a wonderful time, Linda. Good morning to Anne. Hello to Eileen. Hello to Aileen, sorry. Good morning to Carol. Hello to Anastasia. Izzy's in as well. She says, while we're on about the weather again, it's a lovely day up here in Bonnie, Scotland. Interesting make today. There's the birthday girl there. Good morning, Kath. How you doing? She's going to be celebrating her birthday all week, aren't we, Mummy? Right. Taking you down on the mat and I will show you what we're making. This is the gorgeous aqua. I'll move them. They just clip together. Love that. So if you wanted to, if you were multi-buying, of course you could wear these colours together and they just lock in with each other. Absolutely gorgeous. Camille saying she's liking the beige one and the pink. which are those. You could, if you wanted to multi-buy or add in the different colours of just the beads, you could also alternate between the colours this way, or you could do one strand in one colour and one in another. That might look lovely too. So let's have a little look at them individually. This is your aqua, absolutely stunning colour. If you have a little look at the tubes, you'll see I don't think they are tubes. To me, they are beads, but I suppose if you're looking at them at the side, it is like a tube shape and it looks like it's just been twisted like this. You've got those gorgeous little sparkly rondelles in between, and then you've got your magnetic clasp, which just slides into, this is the silver findings. It just opens up like this and then connects back on like that. Now, if I've used 2 rows of 16 tubes, let's measure this against, I'm not sitting and counting, I think I've used 16 on each one. If we measure that out, that's coming out as over an 8-inch bracelet. So if you wanted to adjust your size, of course, you could just add less of the tubes in, and you could adjust it by making it longer. You could make it longer and make yourself like a choker. They have got a nice weight to them because they are hematite. They are quite weighty. You could do them as earrings too. They wouldn't be too heavy if you're just adding a couple of those beads in. But you can see how they twist. I'm doing 2 separate strands, like so. And then, oh, that's satisfying. I'm just going to do that again. 2 separate strands, and they just clip together. So I'm not having to weave in and out in any kind of stitch and thread paths. I'm literally just letting that magnetic field pull those tubes together. Kath saying she loves the metallic bracelets. Hello to Heather, how are you doing? Hope you're having a wonderful day and I hope work goes well for you. Good morning to Sheila. Again, just to attach those magnetic clasps together, one's got a little groove in the side and they just lovely slide on. So that one is your aqua. We have our beautiful pink. You can see those very shimmery little crystal rondelles. This is the one I'm going to demo for you today. So it is an olive colour. It's gorgeous. Really, really love that. This one's on your black plate findings. The pink is on the rose coloured findings. And then this one is your beige. I suppose it is quite beige, but to me it's quite ivory too. Such a beautiful lustre and finish on those tube beads. And you can see these crystals here. So they looked, I'd say, a little bit darker on that image. Absolutely beautiful and really, really straightforward to make. Heather says she's loving the blue. Well, I can't decide. I'm loving the blue as well. Always drawn to blue, but I'm trying to push myself away from always making and demoing with a blue one. So you can see how they look. You can see how they fit. I'm just going to slide them all on because they are too big for me. But you can see how you can layer these up really nicely. That's a nice weighty cuff. Kind of got a grounding feel with it because it is quite heavy when you've got all 4 colours on in one go. But you can mix these up however you want. Joanne's saying she's loving the pink. It looks like satin. It has got a satin finish, yeah. Okay, let's get making. And say I'm probably going to change the size because I want to keep this one. So I'd like to make it a little bit smaller for me. But in your kit, you should have enough to make 2 strands with 16 of these gorgeous, gorgeous beads. And then I'll be using 17 of the crystals on each strand, just in between as well. So I'm just going to be doubling up. So I'm going to take my Tigertail, which is my threading material of choice for today, and I'm going to cut myself 2 lengths of about 8 inches. So I'm going to measure that up against my ruler. I reckon that's about 20 centimetres. And of course, you're going to be adding on that little bit of extra distance with the jump rings, your culottes and your crimp beads. Let me just check. That is, yeah, about 20 centimetres or 8 inches. And I want 2 of them, and I want those 2 lengths to be the same. That's if you're going to make this size. Of course, if you want to make smaller, just add less on. So I'm going to start with my culotte and my crimp bead, because I'm using this beautiful like olivey colour. It is like a deep green. I'm going to be using the findings kit with this, which are the black plates. So they've got really nice finish to them. I'm going to need 4 crimp beads, because I'm going to be double crimping each one, but I'm just going to do one end at the moment, and then we'll pop it together. So just taking one of my strands of Tigertail, I'm going to take my culotte, and I'm going to slide that up onto the bottom, and then I'm going to take 2 of those crimp beads, and I'm going to take my chain nose or flat nose pliers or tweezer nose pliers or my crimping pliers, whichever what you want to use, and I'm just going to flatten those out. So we go from a nice round bead to a nice flat bead. And I'm just going to mess up that bead. Do you know what? I've half squished it. I'm going to take it off and put another one on. I want to get them nice and flush. And you can see if I do make a mistake, I'm just taking it off. Don't need to cut off the one that worked perfectly. Put the next one on instead. That's better. And then I'll pop that culotte back on. So inside of my culotte, I've got plenty of space there for those 2 crimp beads to just sit inside that round beaded shape of the culotte. Fold it over gently with my fingers first, just make sure they're hidden inside. And then I'm going to take my chain nose pliers, and I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure just to close that over. There you go, get it nicely lined up, and then I can attach on my jump ring to that a little bit later. So you can play about with the design on this. I'm just going to start off with crystal, tube bead, crystal, tube bead, and I'm just going to alternate between them. Camille saying that I can, yeah, if I'm keeping it, I need to make it perfect. All of my samples go back to the Totally Beads warehouse, but sometimes if I'm making an extra one on the live, I think, well, they don't need 2 in this colour, do they? So sometimes I'm a little bit cheeky, and I do get to keep the one that I've demoed with. I don't know if Simon's aware of that. Confession time. But they're a fabulous price, so I'm happy to pay for it, Simon. So here goes my crystal rondelle. Onto the bottom, it's just going to fit next to that little culotte. And I'm just going to alternate. What I love about these, I've took them off the strand and they all just want to sit next to each other. So I'm just going to pick my tube twisted bead up and slide that on. And I'm just going to alternate between them. Crystal, bead, crystal bead. It's a really, really quick make, and I think it's a nice, effective look as well. Good morning, Yolanda. Happy Wednesday to you. I hope you are well. My voice is sounding okay, but it's feeling a little bit sore. So I might make myself, I don't know. It doesn't need to be medicinal, so I don't need like a honey and lemon. It just needs to be soothing. I mean, I try not to be, sharing and over personal about the things that I've been up to, but can't help it. If you get the chance to go and see Kylie Minogue perform, do it. She's fabulous. What a wonderful show. I had such a lovely time. I'm not used to really being in like big event spaces now, because I don't know, after lockdown I've got a little bit more shy, but it's an exciting year this year, so I'm going to embrace it a little bit more. And yeah, what a fabulous opportunity to get to see her. I'm going to go see Hamilton on Monday as well. Theatre show which I've not seen before. How many have I got on there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's see how long 13 is. But of course you've got enough to add 17 crystals. 17 crystals and 16 tubes onto each of your strands. So this now is coming up. I think that's going to be a good size for me when I add the clasp on. So all you want to do is start with a crystal and finish with your crystal. You can then add on your next calotte and your crimp bead. I'm going to get that crimp bead right down into the calotte, so my beads are nice and flush and close together, before I'm just going to press that crimp bead down. And I always double crimp anyway, but I think when you've got a slightly weightier bead, it's always beneficial to do so. So I've added one crimp bead on and I've flattened it down. I'm going to add my next one on. That's going to sit on top of the last. See what I'm doing there? And I'm just going to give that a press to close. Morning, Lisa. Jan says she's ordered all of them. Thank you, Jan. I'd love to see what you do with them. Are you going to make them individually, or are you going to mix up these hematite tubes? Because I do think they'd look gorgeous paired together. Beautiful. So now I've got my calotte on again. I'm just going to close it over with my fingers. I want those crimp beads sitting in the middle of the rounded section of the calotte, and I just want to close over by just applying light pressure to both sides, and that should make those holes line up lovely. So how many did I use? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Unlucky for some, but not for me. Hopefully it'll fit. So I'm going to use 13 on the next one as well. So exactly the same. I'm going to take my next strand of Tigertail. I've put in enough, so you've got 2 strands at 8 inches or 16 inches of Tigertail altogether. And if you want to be adding on more of these, you've got enough to do 2 rows of 16. I'm going to just take a few off. Probably should have measured it around my wrist. Yeah, I think that's going to be a nice fit. We'll see. If not, I'll have to gift it. So I'm going to pop on my calotte. I'm going to take my crimp beads out. I'm going to slide my crimp beads onto the end of the Tigertail. And I'm going to bring that last one placed on right to the tip of the Tigertail. If there's any Tigertail left over sticking out, you can always cut it off. But I tend to just slide it up to the end and then press, so they're sitting nice and flush together and they're flat. Bringing the calotte over, closing it with my fingers. So you can see you need minimal tools for this as well. Chain nose pliers, maybe crimping pliers. Look how lovely that closes. Gorgeous. And then your wire cutters, just to trim off the edge, and 2 pairs of pliers to open and close your jump ring. So again, I'm going to start off with one of my crystals. I'm going to add on my magnetic tube hematite twisted bead. Just give you a little look at how that looks. Camille says, yes, please, and thanks. Are you being cheeky? Are you wanting the bracelet? I mean, a fabulous price, £6.99 for whichever colour you fancy. And they're just lots of fun. I mean, there's so many designs and things you can do because they clip together. And you don't lose anything, because I'm like, where's my clasp gone? And then I find the clasp just stuck to the magnetic beads or my jump rings or my tools. So just going to slide on my crystal and alternate. They're already wanting to stick. I just take some crystals off my strand. So a nice easy beginner project for anybody who's looking for a quick make. Look, they already want to be together, which is really good, because then I also don't need to count. I can just lay them next to each other and they just find each other lovely. So you do have, obviously on a magnet, you have a positive and a negative, like one which will attract and one side which will repel. But you will know which is which, because if you're doing them down on the mat like this, you'll see they already find each other. You just have to separate them to be able to thread them on one at a time. Crystals are lovely as well. Just add that extra little bit of sparkle. These have got, I mean, these look quite matte, but then as you say, looking at the pink one, they look like they've got like a satin kind of finish to them. So it's just nice to kind of have those little twinkly crystals in between, just to add that extra bit of sparkle and kind of change in texture. Wasn't planning on making these while they're clipping together, but I'll separate them when I pop my findings on. So straightforward alternating between my crystal and my hematite tube, and making sure I start and finish with the crystal, just to separate out really, because obviously the magnetic beads are going to want to touch my metal of my findings and my clasp, so that's just going to add that little bit of distance. So when you've threaded on, oh, it's just so satisfying pulling them apart. I'm going to add on my last culotte and my 2 crimp beads. Good morning, Melissa. How are you doing? Melissa says, good morning. I'm sorry I'm coming in from New York late. I hope all is well. I'm absolutely lovely and well. I hope you are too. And Anastasia says these bracelets are beautiful. So of course I want to make sure that there's no gap in my tiger tail. I want to push that right down so all my beads are sitting up next to that culotte. I don't really even need to shape it. Usually if I'm making a bracelet, I do tend to give it a little curve, and also when I'm doing a necklace, just to get the tension right. But it's not hugely needed. I'm gonna pop on my culotte onto the other end, crimp bead on, making sure I'm happy with the positioning, and flatten that first crimp bead down, adding on the second crimp bead so it sits on top of the last, nice and close, because of course if I was to fix it up here, I've got all that space, so I want to make sure they're sitting close to each other, so they're going to sit nicely inside of the culotte. Little bit of pressure just to flatten it down, coming in with my cutters, cutting off any excess tiger tail. Give them a little extra press just to make sure. Closing over with a pinch of my fingers, and then firming up that close with a little gentle pressure. on the outside of the culotte. So I've got my magnetic clasp. I'm just going to open it just to make sure I can open and close it. I've got a little bit of plating inside that. I wonder, I'm sure I'll just knock it off when I have, oh yeah, it's gone. Okay, so I'm just making sure those holes are clear. I thought I had a little bit of plating, but that came out nicely. So I just want to make sure I can attach on my jump rings. The jump rings I'm using, I'm not too sure on the size of them. I know I've put it in my description. They are smaller. I mean, you can use your 6x1 outer diameter. I think these are 5x1 outer diameter. I will check all the information is correct. But you can see I've got 4 little loops on my magnetic clasp. So I'm going to want 4 jump rings to attach on to each ends of my culotte. So if you want to, you can attach them together at this point. Just going to make sure that my culottes are facing in the same direction. And then I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to open up my jump ring by giving it a little turn towards me. I'm going to slide it on and I'm going to attach that to the top hole of my magnetic clasp and then close it back over. I'm going to take another jump ring and give that a little twist to opening it towards me, threading it through those holes in the culotte that have aligned nicely together. And then I'm just going to making sure that I'm getting onto the bottom. Sorry, that's getting shot. They're all fighting to touch each other. And I'm just going to slide that on. You can separate your clasp if you want to and just pop it on one side and then the other on the other side. And then same on the opposite end. Twist to open my jump ring, sliding it through, and then again on the opposite side of the clasp, making sure we've got that lovely close. And twist to open, sliding it on through and through the hole in the clasp. I hope this fits. I don't know if I've done it too small, but you can see how they just want to join together. And because the magnetic clasp finds itself as well, it should be fairly straightforward to put on. Now, I did see, was it Camille you shared that little hack with the sellotape? That's a perfect fit for me. It's not too tight, it's got that movement. Isn't that pretty? Rachel says the beads look as if they're really tactile, just like playing with them. Anastasia says they're so beautiful. I love them. Really, really gorgeous. Really quick make, really straightforward make. The magnetic beads do all the hard work for you. So you've got 4 colours today in the magnetic twist bracelets. They're all £6.99. So we've got this gorgeous aqua here for you. And you can see I'm using the gorgeous aqua hematite tubes, which are 6x8. And then I think it was cerulean blue, I like that word, cerulean blue 3x4 crystal rondelles in this colourway, and they are on the silver findings. We have this very pretty one, which is named beige. Very, very, very sparkly. They're on the gold. We have the lovely, pretty in pink with the sparkly pink crystals, and they're on the rose gold. And then the one that I've just demoed is that gorgeous olive on the black plate. So each of your magnetic twist bracelets today are £6.99. I do still think our very lovely special birthday offer is on for the remainder of this week, which is going to give you discount in celebration of our 21st birthday, but you need to spend over £10. If you wanted to multi-buy, I think they look absolutely gorgeous together, which is the beige and the olive. And of course you could put them straight like this and then just, they would look like a nice cuff, or you could do, that'd be lovely. So you could do a strand in the olive and the beige, and then another bracelet in the beige and the olive, and then you could clip them together like this. You could alternate between the colours. You could put those together, which would be lovely. You could put those together. Of course, if you wanted to, you could add a different clasp. You could just do one stranded bracelet if you wanted, and then you could just like playing with them, don't I? If you wanted to just put like a little lobster clasp on them, you could do 3-strand bracelets and wear them together like that. They're really, really gorgeous, really beautiful. Absolute bargain today, fabulous price. Magnetic twist bracelets on the Totally Bead website for £6.99. And I promise you, if you don't have a lot of fun playing about with them while making, you'll have a lot of fun wearing them. Really, really lovely. Good morning, Mina. How are you doing? And thank you, Sheila. She says they look lovely. Just Me says thank you, Natalie. Very pretty bracelets. Everyone's been very complimentary. For some reason, Mina's saying she can't comment on Facebook Live. We are live on Facebook as well as YouTube. I don't know what's the issue there, Mina. Glad you found us. Melissa says, oh, it's like it's repeated that comment. Hello again to you. Right, so Monday here in England, I don't know if it's all of the UK. Don't know whether Scotland, we have different bank holidays, don't we? But here where I am, we've got a bank holiday on Monday, so there will not be a live on Monday. I won't be with you on Monday. I will be back with you on Wednesday. And because we've got such an early finish today, because of the quick, beautiful bracelets, I'm going to show you what I'm doing on Wednesday. So down on the map we go. Ooh, Wednesday, I'm playing with gemstones. I'm playing with wire. I'm going to show you how to do this very straightforward herringbone weave. You can't go wrong with it. I'll show you how to make them absolutely perfect. And we're also using memory wire. So you've got that adjustability in your bangle and your bracelet. It's going to hold its shape and its form. I've not done a memory wire make for ages. And I have a couple coming up. I've got one which I think I've scheduled for possibly the end of this month, and it's gorgeous if I do say so myself. But we're playing with gemstones on Wednesday, so we've got some gorgeous fluorite, we've got just jaspers, we've got snowflake obsidians, I think, yes, that's a labradorite. We've got some very pretty beads, and they're all going to be on silver plated wire. And as I'm going to be showing you how to do that herringbone technique on the memory wire and how to use your memory wire too. They're really, really pretty. I hope you can join me for those on Wednesday if you can. Mina's mobile phone's playing up after the update. I deliberately not updated my Mina because I don't want the changes. Don't like change. Sheila says it doesn't look straightforward, Natalie. I promise you, I will talk you through it. It's really, really easy to do, and it's really, really fun to do as well. Izzy says she's loving Wednesday's bracelet. She says you'll have me bankrupt soon. You say that, but I mean, these today were like less than £7, and you know you've got a gemstone in there, I suppose, because they're hematite. So you got the fancy things coming. They're definitely worth it. I don't know what price Simon's going to put on them, but I can guarantee it'll definitely be worth it. Kath says another lovely make, gemstones and memory wire. Yay! Hello to Bobby. How you doing? Bobby says, good morning. I'm Bobby. I'm from Ohio, USA. Hello to you, Bobby. I'm just about to finish, but thank you so much for joining me and joining me live. If you do want to watch back, you can find us on YouTube. I also share this onto Facebook as well, so you can catch up whenever you want. You can always, of course, go onto the Totally Beads website and play back any tutorials we've ever done. Pretty much, they're all there. So I hope you can join me on Wednesday. I hope you all have a very, very lovely weekend and start the week next week, and I will see you very soon.